Yeah. Hey, you all. It is Maysha with As Long As You're Breathing. And look who's with me. Pam is back.
Hi, you guys.
And we're going to talk energy management of relationships because we know that, well, as long as we're breathing, we're all in relationship. And we want to do them with great big capital letters, living and loving and laughing.
Oh, I like the laughing.
I do too.
I like the living too. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I do too. Living, loving, laughing. I just keep coming up with L words now. Who knows
Yeah,
what I'm going to add?
but I need more of the laughing for sure.
Definitely. Me too.
Probably
Me
could
too.
do more with the loving too.
Yeah. Well, I played a little song so I can laugh at myself before we come on, and that raises my vibration.
You're too funny.
Oh, how are you, Pam?
I'm okay. We've been talking about.
I know, and that's why we're doing the show today, is because we both are kind of in the same. I'm okay. And that's not either one of us. We're those people that we walk in the room and people are like, here comes sunshine, here comes electricity, here comes, and we're both kind of like, I'm okay. And so, what in the world is going on with us, Pam McDonald? Because we are like the high vibe queens here.
Yeah, I know me. I kind of hit rock bottom with my adrenal fatigue. And, it's kind of funny how things that happen in your life, like health, right, bring you to a point that you kind of stop and take note, right? Which it always seems like a health issue or something like that is what always stops you in the tracks. How do we not be able to kind of pay attention to these things beforehand? Because we know better, right?
We do. And
we know better.
We do. Well, of course, you have the adrenal issues. I have fibromyalgia. And this really does lead to our topic. We've both had to learn to really be real about self-care.
Yes.
And what we both have learned is that we're still overdoers. Even though
we say we're not.
We're not. We still can get into overdoing mode. But a lot of it is because we're just so passionate about what we do and we see the need for the information. And like we were talking the other day with self-care, people got to the point they started getting the whole I've got to take care of myself first thing. They started getting I got to put my oxygen mask on before I help the person in the seat.
And we do.
We do. But what a lot of people haven't gotten, and this I do not think applies to you and I think if anything, we preach it a great deal. Where a lot of people stopped was at that. And what they didn't realize was the whole point of doing that is because we are always in relationship. So we had to take care of ourselves first so we could show up in the world in relationship to everyone else at our best, the way we said we would be, because it's all about how do I want to be treated by others, then treat ourselves that way, and then put that energy back out in the world. Now, you and I still, unfortunately, a little more, we give a little more than we take in still. And that is our thing, which probably explains why you and I are struggling with this relationship 2.0 thing, is because until we get this part down, we're not ready for relationship 2.0.
Yeah. And you see me fumbling here because when this latest adrenal fatigue really hit me and I bottomed out, I had to stop. Well, I didn't have to, but I wanted to stop and look back over what I had been doing, because just what you said a while ago, we do more than we
We
give more
realize.
than we receive.
Yeah.
And we are so high vibrational that for most of the time, I'm learning that I can only be high vibrational for short periods of time, and then I have to rest. And
Me too.
I think, right? So, well, let me back up. So we have these waves of energy that we go through, right? So we have these peaks, and when we're at that peak, man, we are just like, okay, I can do everything for everybody and for as long as I want. And then we dive down into that valley, and I'm going to put you and me in there,
You
'cause
go right ahead, girl. You go for it.
we
I
get in
appreciate
that valley, and we still think that, okay, well, I can just carry through to that next.
Yeah, I can push
And
through. I can push through, and I know better than
we
pushing through. That's what crashes me is pushing through.
yeah, we can't. At least I can't. I
Wow.
hope that well, you can't either. We know that. We
But
just,
this
you
goes
know
with relationships too, because the reason we do that is because it feels so good to be doing because we don't do it to get back, and so we don't one thing we don't realize we're not getting back because we don't do this to get back. And so we
right,
don't realize
exactly.
that we're doing it at an energy deficit level, and it feels good to us. So it's like we recognize that we're in that valley, but we're like, maybe it's not the valley. Maybe I just need to catch 15-minute nap or something, and then
Yeah.
maybe I'm still up there. And so,
I
and
know I need to rest, so I'll just take 15 or 20 minutes, then I'll
yeah,
be good.
yeah, and so we love what we do so much, and we are genuine about it, and we genuinely aren't looking for people to give back to us for doing it.
Right,
And
right.
and that makes us show up in the world exactly the way we say, is that other people should show up. We should be attracting the people into us that show up the way we do, so we wouldn't be in this predicament.
Yeah.
But they're not showing up.
No, they're not enough of them are showing up enough of the time,
You
for
know, I
sure.
think I think in our business world they are.
I think you're right.
Yes.
And that and I will say that I think once we get that energy surge, that inside, that's what we feel we need to push through when we know, and we just can't. The
Yeah.
energy I for sure, and I
Well,
think you probably do too. We're both on this energy, learning system with everybody else.
absolutely. And what
So,
you and I have to recognize is that we put our physical bodies through a whole lot before we understood about the energetic body.
yes, we
And
did.
we did. And
And that's
so
kind of part of the problem.
that's kind of part of the problem is we did a whole lot to ourselves before we stopped drinking that Kool-Aid.
And
and
and I
and
started with that, and I was looking a while ago
yes, I
because
know you were. I was waiting for you to
I
find it.
have I can't find it right now.
Oh, okay.
It's in one of these 3 books that I'm looking at, but it's not jumping out at me. But
Hmm.
there were when I went back, I went as far back as the last quarter of 2019, because in 2020 was when I started, the partnership with my studio.
Hmm.
And then that was when I really began to, build this business. Before, I had been mostly in the corporate world, and it took me like a year to rebound from that, if you will, and then another year to kinda get my head wrapped around, anyway, so 2019, last quarter of 2019, I started into a different mode of my business. And, I have like 3 pages worth of just business things, business related things that I ended up doing um, from that last quarter of 2019 to now. Now, you know, most people would say, well, why? We probably all do that. Well, yeah, okay, we probably do. But I I can't do that. And that was just the business part. That had nothing to do with my personal life. Making doctor's appointments, spending time with friends and family, cleaning my house, trying to declutter. I haven't gotten
What about taking care of Pam? I didn't hear you say anything about
Oh,
that.
yeah, what about that?
What
That's
about
what I
that?
mean,
Yeah.
so I had to take a really hard look, and, you and I were really doing, a lot of work in the fall of last year and the first part of this year. And I know that I have totally slowed down. You did for a little while. You've kind of got yours back now. I don't have
I'm
mine
still
yet.
teetering on it.
Well,
I'm still,
yeah.
I look at my calendar and I'm like, how did that day get that full? That day's not even supposed to have anything on it. Why are there 5 things on there? So,
I did have a challenge the other day, so I'm going to challenge you with this too.
okay. All right.
So I was challenged with finding 3 days where where I put absolutely nothing on the calendar.
I've got those in two places. I've got it.
3 consecutive days?
3 consecutive days.
Okay. 3 consecutive days, you don't put anything on your calendar. You wake up when you get ready and you want to, and those 3 entire days, you just do what feels good and what you decide you wanna do. No work.
Oh, now hold on. I don't do anything but
Uh-huh.
work.
Yeah.
I don't do anything else. So if I get up when it's time to feel
Okay.
good, what else
But
am I
it can't be work. It can't be in your head, "Okay, well, I'll clear those 3 days, but I know that I'll do work in those 3 days." No.
Because that's why I clear the 3 days is so I can get caught up on the work
Yeah. Uh-huh.
at my own pace, of course, without any other things going on. And that's kind of the problem is this is kind of all you and I do.
Yeah.
We live and breathe this stuff.
Well,
And
it's kind of it's okay, so some people go play tennis, right?
mhm.
Or some people, I don't know, a lot of women go have manicures and pedicures, I guess, or shopping. Oh
I
my
don't like
god.
doing that either.
No.
I don't like that either.
Oh, shopping is not
I avoid it like the
relaxing for me.
plague.
Or play in the garden, and I'm not any of
I'm
those. So
allergic. Yeah, I'm allergic. I can't.
I'm gonna use that one. No, I'm
Flowers,
allergic.
but I'm allergic. I love getting out in the flowers. I can't.
Yeah. Well, but you get you
I
guys
get
get
it.
our
Yeah.
point. It is for us just kind of bringing things together, talking about energy, um, putting a little program or something together around energy. That's that's I don't know, that's what we do.
It's what we do. It's what we do. But we do it in relationship because you and I talk a lot to one another and we do it
Yeah.
in relationship. And the people we're close to, and I said we have good relationships that are positive energy loops for us. The
Yeah.
people that we're in relationship with doing all of this are not people who take from us. As a matter of fact, they won't do that. I mean, if it's not a positive energy loop, we have done very well with that. We have drawn our life back and edited it to the point that the people are in our lives right now. If it's not positive energy loops, they're very much on the periphery of my life.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting here thinking as you're talking that we're both very energized about this. And I told you I wanted to keep it to an hour.
I know we're going to. I'm watching the
No, no,
time.
no, no. But I'm just thinking at the end of an hour, I'm going to be exhausted. And I know that. But I can't help but be energized and excited when we talk about this.
Well, that's me too. I'm the same way. People see me and they think it's like this all the time, and they don't know that before I come on, I have to stop and take a few minutes, and I do the meditation, and I do sleep
Yeah.
30 minutes or 45 minutes. They don't know the energy management I do to because although I do believe fibromyalgia is because of fight, flight, and freeze, and I have done the healing, et cetera, I have to stay
Yeah.
progressing. I can't
Mhm.
regress, or I'm right back in that. And regression of that is to go back to where I'm pushing myself, same way with adrenal fatigue, that I'm pushing myself to the point that I don't have the energy to have that to be aware, to have the awareness.
Mhm.
The awareness I had to come to was that I was a workaholic because there were many things in my life that weren't good, the relationships, and so I
Mhm.
had
Mhm.
work. That was my identity.
Yeah.
And but the thing of it is, I've always done things that lit me up or turned them into something that lit me up.
Yeah.
So because we're in relationship even with our work, so I did do that, and my work lights me up. But at the same time, I can still only put so much into it because so
Mhm.
much of what I do is I don't get a lot of interaction from it. Like you and I are here now, and this is exponential because it's you're whole, I'm whole, and the work we're doing is whole. And
Right.
so it's exponential energy. But if we don't see results from that, if we don't put it out there and we don't have results from it, then that does start becoming like an energy drain. And of course, we have been trying to grow and trying to grow, and so we have the exponential experience together. But then there's that afterwards. It's like, okay, where did we get with it? Where did we get with it? And that's become for us. A relationship issue. We have a dysfunctional relationship out there in that it's not growing the way we wanted to. And so our relationship is fine, but the me and you and the work and then the relationship with the people and getting it to everybody we want to, that relationship has not become exponential yet. And so that's where we're at as far as relationships go, is we are meant to be, we are always, whether we want to be or not, we are always in relationship. And here I'm talking about work and what to us is our joy, our passion, is what we love. But it
Yeah.
doesn't change the fact that you and I are whole and complete doing this. The work we do is whole and complete. We're doing great work. But until we find that safe container where we have a relationship with other people to put the work in,
Right.
then it's not exponential for us. And it's still, okay, here we are whole and complete, and here's the work whole and complete, but it's just two. It's not
I know.
exponential energy.
Totally. Yeah.
Right. And
Well,
as
well,
Elizabeth Kipler's pointing
yeah.
out, 3 points it makes the strongest the strongest structure. The strongest structure is a pyramid because the whole base of it is structure, and then it
Right.
just goes up. And 3 points exponential is, and three is the a magic number. And I get three all the time. I'm always getting threes. And so that's where we're at with this, is figuring out, okay, how do we make this grow now? How do we get the exponential part in?
Well, I think sometimes too, um, I think this little um, this little health issue, let's just go there, is a reminder for me and a lesson too for me of how I have been in the past. I realized it. I thought I was past it, but I fell right back into, I somehow fell back into kind of that negative energy loop. Okay. And it was, I really believe it was to remind me to move back into a positive energy loop in whatever it is I'm doing and whatever relationship I'm in. And also, um, to give me more information to be able to share with my clients,
Sure.
with the people we're going to be reaching, um, it's kind of like a, okay, remember this. You kind of forgotten this, so remember that this is part. This is
Well,
part
and
of
you
your
you
teaching.
attracted that in. You attracted that in
Yeah.
because you put out the energy that got you there.
Yeah.
So, because you have the awareness to begin with, because you have the awareness to begin with, now that you've attracted the energy that put you back into that, then it's your guides with the intuitive hit hello, but not just your guides. This is even where ego, this is where the dimension of the mind even helps out, because the dimension of the mind has learned this. It's learned, hold on a second, we've done this before, what are we doing?
Remember?
Yeah, remember? And so I'm one of those, I've really been trying to stress that we're not supposed to kill the ego. The mind has a function.
The mind keeps us safe.
It's a
That,
huge function. It's
yes.
when it's trying to keep us safe because it's afraid of the unknown. It doesn't know what's happening. Or
Right.
when it's become egotistical, which is takes us back to the self-care stuff. When we're locked in, okay, I'm taking care of me now. Me. I'm taking care of me. Here's all my boundaries. I'm taking care of me. And we don't realize, okay, you're doing that though, so that you can show up in the world, putting out the
In
energy.
relationship.
In relationship, that's the point. And so for us, it is a matter of finding the right balance, et cetera, of our exponential, of our triangle here, that
Yeah.
dimension of where all of this belongs. And we're going to, because we're putting that
Yeah.
energy out. But if we keep getting in these loops where we drain ourselves, start again, drain ourselves, start again, then it's hard to get the energy out there and do that. So we have to
Yeah.
stop that.
Yes, uh, it's kind of like, I'm going to go back to that 3 marriages and divorces. I think I hope I have
That's a good
learned that
segue. So go
story.
ahead.
I hope I've learned that story, and I hope now I have gotten a leg up on this one.
See, we're 3 for 3, both of us. So that we have
Yeah.
exponentially learned, Pam. We've exponentially learned. Oh, and yeah. So
So just an encouragement for those of you who are on that track. 3 can be, what do we say? 3's a charm.
3's a charm. It's magical. It is. And so
It's
right now we have been talking mostly about relationship with self and what you do and that kind of thing. But what you and I did figure out in the course of our conversation
yes.
is that while we do love what we do and we do greatly enjoy it, we aren't here to just be in relationship with the people we work with, no matter how wonderful those relationships are, or our work, no matter how wonderful that relationship is. We are meant to be here in, and I don't want to blow anybody's minds here, but in more intimate type relationships. And again,
Yeah.
Pam and I are both, we don't care what that looks like for people. So we're both going to say things that allude to heterosexuality because we are. We're just going
Right.
to throw that out there and say, but I don't care what somebody's sexual orientation is. So if we're using heterosexual language, that's not, it's just because that's what we are.
Just
And
know that's what we know.
that's what we know. But that doesn't mean, because I don't care. I mean, it's not a morality thing with me at all.
No.
I don't see it that way. I see it as people are who they are, and I honor that. So, but I don't want to tiptoe around and not and worry about the pronouns I use. So I'm just going to say it
Right.
up front. That's the pronouns we're going to use, but I don't care. I mean,
But
I honor.
it's just like we talk about our higher power,
Right.
whether it's God or it's Buddha or it's universe or it's whoever.
Yeah,
It's the
I don't
same
care.
thing.
Same thing, same thing. So there is the fact that we are supposed to have intimate relationships in our life. As a matter of fact, that is the only way in our most personal of relationships that we can actually, because that's what intimacy is our most personal. That's the only way we can have an exponential life. Just like we were talking about for work and friendships, that it has to be your whole and complete and their whole and complete. And then the friendship is a safe place where you're not taken advantage of, but it's a positive energy loop. And then you have exponential friendships, you have exponential work relationship, you have an exponential relationship with your work, et cetera, et cetera. And we do have those things and have done that. But what you and I both realized is, okay, neither of us have an exponential, intimate relationship in our lives. Matter of fact, neither of us have, well, you do have a relationship. I don't have any relationships. So.
Well, but still, mine is not what you and I talked about the way it should be. I mean,
Right.
we talked about we really talked about married couples.
Right.
Married couples we knew. Now, let's put that in perspective too. Okay. So we're saying married, but whether you went before a priest or a preacher or a something and got
I
a
don't
piece of
care.
paper that
Right.
said you're married, it doesn't, or you just made a commitment to each other. And maybe that's the word.
Committed couples.
Committed couples. So I think it is that committed couple relationship, intimate relationship that you and I were really talking about the other day,
We were.
whether it's married or committed.
Yeah. Whether it's
But
heterosexual or not, whether it's married or not, none of
yeah,
those things matter. We're talking about whatever type of intimate relationship is right for you,
right,
the committed relationship model, and how
right.
important that model is, and how society has turned it kind of into a dirty word. Just like when people got all into the self care, it was like, because I still know people in our world who will say, "Oh no, it stops there. I don't worry about." Well, no, it doesn't stop there. Well,
No,
same
no,
way
you
with
have
our
to worry
relationship.
about everybody else.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
what you put out, the energy you put out is meant to be put out for relationship with others. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, you, how do we get off on these blind trails that we get off on?
I don't know.
In what the 60s and 70s and 80s, it was all about me, and it was all about free, and it was all about, I'm thinking back to the hippie generation,
I
right?
understand. I'm not that much younger than you. I
Because
understand.
that's where we've been.
That's where we've been. I
you
remember it.
know, and then we got to and please don't anyone, this is just merely a description, but we hear it all the time, things like the tree huggers. Okay. And you can come up with any number of vernaculars that you want to, but we get off on these little tangents, and we just go streamlining down them without remembering that. And just like you were mentioning before we actually came on, the oneness that we all talk about, yes, but it's relationship
That's what the oneness is.
of
It's
the oneness.
relationship. Yes.
Yes,
That's
we're
what oneness
all
is.
in relationship in the oneness. It's not just this, we're all right here. It's all of our relationships that make the oneness.
Absolutely. We are here to be in a symphony. The universe is a
Yes.
symphony. It's meant to be. It's not
I
meant.
wanna play the
And
bells.
okay, you can do. You would be a great bell player, but
I that or they call them xylophones, but I call them marimbas.
oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh, that's you. That's you. But so each one of us is we have a seat in that orchestra, and if we're out of tune, then the whole orchestra sounds bad. The more of us are out of tune, the worse it sounds, and that's kind of where we're at as a society right now. I mean, if you look at the human collective, and look at the shape that the world is in right now, it's because enough people are out of tune that that's the sound that we have, because that's the energy that's been put out. And so it takes all of us getting back in tune to make the human collective harmonious again. And that doesn't stop with this planet. That
Mm.
energy reverberates out all the way to the universal conscious collective. And that is what the universe, that is what we were being guided to do, is to all get back in tune so our lives are harmonious, and the human collective here on the planet is, and the universe, the cosmic is. But for us to be harmonious, you can't be in harmony with yourself. And we've determined that one and one is not it, because the universe is showing us that everything is about exponential. There's a reason the number 3 is such a magical number. It is about the exponentialness of it. It is about what we learned in self care was okay, it is about how do I want to be treated, treat myself that way, then put the energy back out in the world. Takes all three of those steps to
Yeah.
get the energy back for ourselves to keep us harmonious. If we stop it with just, okay, I'm going to treat myself that way, and we don't put it back out, the energy we're putting back out is energy that's just going to get us other people who aren't giving either, who
Right.
are, it's all about me too. I'm going to take care of me and with the rest of everybody. And so that is not exponential at all. It's two dimensional, you know.
Yeah.
And so we have to be exponential, and it has to be the same way. We're not meant to just be relationship with ourselves, which is important, and relationship with everyone else in terms of what we do and family and all of those things, but we're also meant to have those intimate relationships because that is that is a part of our that's who we are. You know, we are meant to be in these close, tight, knit, loving relationships. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out here too. Again, this has nothing to do with morality, but our intimate relationships are not meant to be, what are the words I'm going to use? The sacral chakra is where our manifesting energy is at. So if we commingle that with non resonant energies, and then we take that energy and we commingle it with someone else and someone else, we send out non resonant energies. We cause other people to have non resonant energies. So the truth of the matter is, we are meant to be in monogamous or committed relationships when it comes to intimacy. And for that reason and that reason only, not morality. I don't care who sleeps with who, or I don't care about any of that. But if we are not in monogamous, committed relationships, the energy management of it is you don't have the gratitude to put into that much. Plus, you have commingled energies
Mm-hmm.
that, and it's non-resonant. You know, it's not, those energies were not meant to be commingled, and so we have to do the energy clearing of it, etc., etc. So committed relationships where you have that relationship container, the 1 + 1 = 3, that is the relationship the universe has with us. There's each one of us, and then we're in relationship with the universe, and that's the macro. And it comes right down to the micro, which is each of us have to be that with ourselves. How do I want to be treated? How am I going to treat myself? What am I going to put back out? But then that's the relationship we have to have with other people. And yes, we are meant to have intimate relationships. And for those of us like you and I, we are now in a world where, hold on a second, we've got to be whole and complete. Don't be dependent on that man. Don't think you need a man. Don't think you need a relationship. You're fine by yourself. And God forbid we become whole and complete and say, you know what? I am whole and complete. I know that. But yes, I'm supposed to be in relationship too. And until I am, that exponential part of my life is missing. And God forbid we say that because we get looked at like, well, there she goes again, thinking she needs a man. I don't need a man. I don't need that relationship, except from the standpoint that is how I am designed. It's how I'm wired and designed, is to be in intimate relationship. We all are, for the most part. There may be a few
Yeah.
who are wired differently, but for the most part, and if we look at our lives and see what's missing and are honest with ourselves, it's just like the people who think they're doing self care when they stopped at me. The people who are whole and complete unto themselves and don't need that kind of relationship, if they'll look at their lives, they're going to find just like you and I have found. The problem is, I haven't found somebody to do this 1 + 1 = 3 with at that level in my life. And if I could find that, then I wouldn't be putting all of my time into just work. That wouldn't be everything I had.
And let's go back to um you and I are older. We've been through 3 marriages and divorces. So let's go back to that first marriage.
Yes.
You just explained how we have learned through those to be that we are in ourself, our own, we are whole and complete,
Whole and
but we
complete.
did not go in, I dare say, I know I didn't. I dare say you didn't go into
Oh, no.
either any of those 3 marriages. Let's just say 6 together.
Let's just call it. Say we have a 6-pack, Pam.
We did not go into those marriages with the understanding that we were whole and complete, they would be whole and complete, and together we would be a whole and complete.
No,
Now,
that's energy
I
management. We didn't know that stuff.
I actually did have the sense, maybe if that's what I could call it, to know that I wanted to marry somebody that would become a partnership. I didn't understand about the energy, but I
Right.
did understand about the what
So
I
did I.
termed as partnership.
Me too.
So, I'm me, he's him, and together we come and we become partners. So in everything that we do, there's always a give and take. I'm going to give, he's going to give, or I'm going to give, he's going to take, and he's going to give, and I'm going to take, and it'll just like flow. Oh, hell no.
Without that safe container, without
No.
talking about it from the standpoint of this is the energy of it,
Yeah.
because we take it personally,
Yes.
we end
And
up,
the 4 agreements.
well, yes, don't take anything
Never take
personal
anything personally.
and be impeccable with your word. Well, that's
Right.
the other thing. It too, if we say this is how I'm going to show up that way. Admit it when you don't, or when
Yes.
you find that that is no longer who you are, speak up and say so. That's what the dimension of the relationship is for. It's to give you that place to have somebody that is that close to you, that you have that closeness, that intimacy, that bond, but you also have that safe place to grow together, to change together, to discuss all that together, and to discuss it in a way that is not labeling each other as you've hurt me, you've failed me, you've changed, you've messed up, but to use the terms which they are is the energy management of it. We have progressed, we have changed levels of consciousness, we're in a different vibrational frequency. Let's look at that and see, can we make it congruent again? Can we make it harmonious again? And if we can't, well, then we're still whole and complete. And although it's going to hurt and it's going to leave a void,
Yeah.
we can move on and look for a different exponential relationship. But there's a reason why, if you go to Akasha, people have these contracts with one another for relationships. It's because we are meant to be in relationship.
Yeah. And you've got to, I was just going to say while you were explaining that you've got to be in a relationship where, number one, you're listening and hearing. You're not just listening, but you're actually hearing.
Actually,
And
hearing.
and that relationship person also has to be listening and hearing, because you can listen all day long, but you don't always
Here.
hear what someone is trying to say. And I've said forever, as long as I can remember, I sometimes feel that I know I'm speaking in the English language because that's the only language I know, but I swear I must be talking in a foreign alien tongue, because I can say, I don't want to do that. And what they get is, okay, well, she
Pam's good with it. Yeah, Pam's good with it.
I just said I don't want to do it. What part of I don't want to do you not understand? You know what I mean?
Well, I do. And I talked just the other day on one of the shows, I talked about one of the dearest friendships in the world to me being muddled up and an energetic mess still, because we communicate so differently. And we're both excellent communicators, but
Yeah.
we're like from different backgrounds. They communicate differently. We're different, although we're so damn similar. We're so different too. So
Yeah.
we communicate differently, and so to ever the relationship is not irreparably broken. It's not like that. But to get it to the point of being the 1+1 = 3, we are going to have to do some operational definitions of what we mean when we're talking. Like, I'll call you right back means what? Because
Yeah.
to me, that means when whatever just interrupted me is done, I will call you right back, or say, we're going to have to talk about this another time.
Not when it comes
Yeah.
convenient next week.
Or let's just say, let's take this. How many people say I love you? And my God, that's why there's so many in some languages, there's so many words for love, because I love you in our language means so many things. And depending on who's saying it and what generation it is, et cetera, it means God knows what it means. So but I didn't know that either. But yeah, so we can have communication is such a big thing. That's why as you all know, I mean, if I've really got something important to say, let's hop on a Zoom, let's do something where we can see each other, because
Yeah.
it's 55, 38, 7. 55% of it is what you see. 38% of it is what is said and or hear vocalized, and only 7% of that are the words. So you imagine just writing out a message. There's no vocalization to that. You don't
Yeah.
even hear anything. All you see are the words. Imagine
Right.
how, let's just say it, how that gets, okay? Let's just imagine right there, I mean, you've already got less than 7% accuracy going on here, all right? And so,
Yeah.
and then now we can do where we can hear each other, which we're all doing, mainly because we're too busy to stop and do this. So we're going around recording and sending it to each other, which I love. But
Yeah.
so you can at least hear what's going on in the voice. And we know those of us who know each other so well. I mean, sometimes I think we just turn it on and laugh and turn it off and hit send. I mean, it's just like, you know what I mean by that. We just,
well, and I'm going to take us, I'm going to do another squirrel here, because you talking about that relationship, which this isn't the relationship you're talking about, but it reminded me of you going to see Batman.
Oh, I know. That was great. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
all I needed to say. But I wanted to ask before I forgot.
What did you want to know? And if Batman was good, is that what you wanted to know? It was great. Well, let's talk about that. Okay, this is like my guardian angel that I'll go with. Okay, so, but
that's why I wanted to be clear. It was not the relationship you were talking about.
No. This is my buddy that I go with. But at the same time, as clear as that line is, we're just friends. As clear as that is, that doesn't change that I don't occasionally get messages like, so what are you doing? That are maybe in a little different flavor, and so I have to be aware of, and I have to maintain that I put out the energy. Hold on a second. No, that's not the energy here, and this is a friend that we have discussed this, and this is absolutely firm, but at the same time, people will push the boundary. And the thing is, if you don't stand, because this is back to what you talked about earlier, is how did we get here? And why do people think you're saying, yes, I'll do it, when you're not saying, yes, you'll do it? How many years did you send out the energy that you would? And that's what they expect from you.
How old am I today?
And that's what they expect of you. And so that's the same thing here.
Well, she's done it before, so she doesn't really mean that.
She doesn't really mean
that,
it.
but she'll really do it.
So if you give a little bit, that's where that saying comes from. If you give an inch, they'll take a mile.
Yeah.
When we send out the energy of, I said no, but I don't really mean no, that's what they get is, okay, she says she won't allow this, but she will. Yeah. Like I talked about this yesterday, like, what kind of food do you want? And I said, most of the time I will tell people what I don't want, because I really am that accommodating. I really do feel like I'm good with a lot of types of food. And I mean it when I say, this is what I don't want. And if you name something else, I'm not going to come back and say, oh, no, I should have put that on the list. I'm going to say, oh, well, you didn't put it on the list. And I'm going to stick with what I said. And I'm going to go ahead and go. And I will find something. But when people ask that, they're either really looking for you to tell them because they don't want to make the decision.
And that's it most of the time.
That's it most of the time.
They don't want to make the decision.
Right. So if you don't put the energy out of exactly what you want, then what you've done is you've put out chaotic energy, and the communication becomes chaotic. And you don't even know why. You're just trying to make it easy for them. And instead, it's become this big, that's what you always do. And it's like, you would think that what I did was just bitched about the place that was picked. I didn't, But
and a prime example of that is when I was so exhausted from taking care of my mom.
Yeah.
I was married at that time and his daughter was living with us. So my bonus daughter. I love her to this day. We're better friends now than we were bonus mom and daughter back then. But anyway, I would come home from I held a 40-hour a week job, right? Or sometimes more. I had the two of them to take care of and myself and my mom's care. And God only knows whatever else I was into at that time.
Right.
But I would come home at night and I'd say, "What do y'all want to eat?" And they would say, and I know that they did this. I understand that they did this because they thought it was making it easier for me.
Hmm.
But they would say, "It doesn't matter, whatever you want to fix."
And you didn't want to make the decision. Your
And
bandwidth wasn't
so
there for it.
now I have to make one more decision. You guys just can't tell me fix chicken and mashed potatoes and beans or, you know?
But did you say that?
Well, no.
Because you didn't know energy
Wow.
management. You didn't know energy management, which we
No,
didn't know. But now the
no.
thing is, okay, hold on here a second.
But I can tell you
Vibrationally,
now, if
yeah.
somebody asks me to dinner and they go, "What do you want to eat?" If I'm in that mood where I don't it doesn't really matter. What I will say is I don't want liver,
I do that too.
mushrooms, or anything, any kind of meat or fish raw. Pretty much everything else, I can find something on the menu.
Well, that's
If
me
if
too. That's
if
that's
you
the
wanna
route I
go to
go.
yeah, if you wanna
Yeah.
go to a sushi place, as long as they've got some sort of salad or something that doesn't have that,
Sushiness.
I can manage.
Me
I'm good.
too. Me too. But it is that is what it comes down to though, is if we put out I don't care energy, what comes back is, well, she doesn't care. So and so and so
So,
we have to
duh.
be duh. And so, but we don't think about that because we're
Yeah,
trying to be accommodating.
yeah.
And so well, I have on my notes here. We've got like 13 minutes left, and I do have notes here because
Mm.
I did a whole segment on twin flames. So I do want to talk just a second here
Yep,
about
go for it.
how twin flames. I was teaching about how they are here to teach the model, to embody the model of the 1 + 1 = 3, to
Okay.
exponentially grow the energy of the universe. Well, that's what we're talking about here. Is all of us are always meant to be in relationship for this very reason. Is the exponential raising of the vibration of the planet. And because that is what the universe has decided the energy has to be anyway to stabilize everything. You see, we were all one. We were one big universe. And
Yep.
then it started breaking off pieces of itself to experience itself and expand consciousness. Then those pieces divided yet again into the twin flames. Now we're at a point where to stabilize the vibrational frequency of everything, we need to come back to stabilization. But to do that, we're not being asked to come back and be this because that's not stable. You get intermingled, commingled energies there, and it doesn't work. We have gone through this where we've learned as singles, as in our self care, that it has to be 1 + 1 = 3. That's what we have to do. Now we have to understand that what the universe has realized is you each stay whole and complete, but you're in relationship with me, and we have a stable relationship. We have a safe place for the relationship. Well, that is what all of this is about. Is all relationships are meant to be a 1 + 1 = 3. So you have your vibrational frequency, which is high, their vibrational frequency, which is high, and then you add exponentially. Instead of one or two, each one of us now has a third energy that is exponential. It's high, so that makes this exponential. That exponentially expands consciousness, and that is the model we're all being called into. And it's not just about our personal self-care. It's not just about our friendships, our relationships with our children, our relationships with our work, but we are meant to be sexual intimate beings. We
Yep.
are meant to be that. And so those relationships are to follow that model too. And the model has to be not because of morality, None of this ever has anything to do with morality. It has to do with the universal law of things. We can't commingle energies that are non-resident, or we end up not in tune. Each one of us is not in tune when we do that. When somebody else commingles someone else's energy with ours that's not resonant, we're out of tune. It puts us out of our vibrational frequency. So it has nothing to do with, do I think it's okay if somebody else has 10 partners? I don't care. I have no morality attached to it. But I know this universal law is that is commingling of energies in the sacral chakra where we manifest, and that is going to create chaotic energy.
And can you have, I mean, maybe there are people who can do this. Can you have committed relationship with 10 people at one time?
You cannot, because you cannot have, let's look at it this way. How hard is it to have with two people enough gratitude to keep that relationship in vibrational alignment?
Yeah.
I'm serious, because these people who talk about like multiple committed relationships, like multiple marriages and stuff. No, not because of the morality of it, but because there is no way to have enough energetic bandwidth to do that. If you want to have a career, if you want to be healthy, if you want to be doing your self-care, and you want to show up in all your other relationships the way you're supposed to, and be what you're supposed to be to the committed person in your life, I'm sorry, you can't have 14 of them. Because they're just like, you can't have 14 jobs and show adequate.
Do each one of them justice. Yeah.
You can't do it. It is universal law. It has nothing to do with morality. None of this has to do with morality. Just like how we treat one another, you know, we can say it's immoral. The immoralness of it is in knowing that by not being in vibrational frequency, we're causing the planet to wreak havoc. But to say on a personal level of my morality, my level of consciousness dictates what your level of consciousness is. No, we're not even saying that. We're just saying that when we all get into vibrational frequency of where we're supposed to be, that's going to raise everyone's vibrational frequency up enough that we're not going to be in those denser energies. But that somebody is in a denser energy, I don't have a morality issue with them because they believe one thing and I believe another. That is totally energy there. That is energy management. So none of this is about morality. This is universal law. This is the sacred geometry of things. This is the math of it. This is the physics of it. And what Pam and I have concluded is that we have all these exponential relationships in our lives. And yes, we've got to get this whole work thing exponential with getting the numbers out there. But the thing is, the people we reach, we do have an exponential relationship with the audience we reach. It is that we want it to be larger. That's the thing. So the audience we reach, we have an exponential relationship with them, which is why we get lit up and love this. But we also know that that is not a balanced life when everything we do is always work. And Pam and I don't do it for the money even. I mean, that's the hell of it. It's not like Pam and I are here doing it for pinnacles, okay? For all the tarot readers out there, Pam and I are not doing this as knight and king and queen and pinnacles. I mean, that is not us at all. And that's probably imbalanced too, because we have to have pinnacles. We have to have money.
To say, but we're happy, you know, if somebody wants to change that for us.
We'll take it.
Bring it on.
Because money is nothing more. There again, too, the morality issue of money. Money is simply energy that we have to, a form of energy that we have to exchange given the system we now have. And so, yes, we need that too. So we're actually out of balance in the fact that you and I are like, and if we don't make any money at it, well, we're doing okay and it's going to be fine. That is actually okay. It's not okay. It is a paradigm that we've gotten into because, and I'll be honest with you, a good part of it is, well, then if we don't make any money, we haven't failed. Think about it. I mean, if we say we have to make money at this or else, and then we don't make any money at it, well, then it's like failing. But if we say, well, if we make money at it, great. If we don't, okay. Well, first of all, we sent the energy out there. They don't care if they make any money at it or not. And so that doesn't work. But in our minds, it's a safety net for, and if I don't make any money at it, well, then I didn't fail because I didn't really set out to make any money at it. But we're setting ourselves up
to fail
because the energy you put out was, I'd like some money for it, but it's okay if you don't give me any. And the universe is like, well, okay, everybody else is asking for money. They're okay if they don't get any. And they don't care either what kind of food they get, as long as it's mushrooms or not. They don't care.
I don't care. Just don't make it liver, mushrooms, or raw fish. Or raw meat for that matter.
Oh my God, Pam. But
I think I could put into that now chicken feet.
oh my God.
I don't know.
Oysters.
There was a
Mountain oysters. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Pickled pig feet. Can't do
that. That goes all. Yeah, no, that stuff's just wrong. I'm sorry. I was watching a show the other night, and it was talking about, and it was an ethnic thing, but it was talking about they were making fun of this person, and that his family ate chicken feet. And honestly, I don't care. If you like chicken feet, go eat them.
I've never heard of it though, so this is
But that's not going to be my thing.
Right.
Just not going to be my thing.
Yeah.
No, I haven't
That's not
tried
universal law. That's Pam's law.
No, I haven't tried it, and it's probably delicious, but I ain't going there.
I hear it tastes like chicken.
And it probably does.
I'm sorry. I couldn't let you go without that one.
It'll be just like my second husband's mother, who swore she could make liver, and I would never be able to tell the difference. And I said, okay, but we shared cooking detail a week at a time.
Right.
And I said, okay, just sometimes don't tell me that you're going to cook it, set it before me.
Tell me it's chicken.
Call it whatever you want. I don't care. And if I like it, I will eat it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't, I'm not going to eat it. If I know it's liver and it tastes like liver to me, I won't eat it. Months went by. We had dinner one night. I took a bite and I went, this is liver, right? And she goes, how did you know that? There's just no way you can eat. And I go,
because I don't like liver.
Oh no. Trust me. There is a distinct taste and a distinct texture.
Same way with lamb. I don't like lamb. People keep telling me you'll love lamb. Just don't. And I'm like, no, I've tried it. I don't like lamb. I know if I do or not.
Yeah. Hey, I was telling you before we went on, right? The difference between kind.
Yes, let's get to that. We have like 3 minutes, so let's talk about this. This fits with what you're saying.
Being nice and being kind.
Being nice and being kind.
And we Southern girls know how to be really nice, right?
Bless her heart.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, so somewhere just like this week, something came before me that was talking about how we respond to people. And we respond to people, most usually we can be nice, right? We are nice, even though it really doesn't feel authentic for us and it doesn't feel good to us. But because we're supposed to be nice.
Oh, you mean societal programming? We should be. We're supposed to be. Oh, wow.
We be nice.
Be nice.
And the contrast to that, I'm going to say, is that they turned that around and said, you do not have to compromise your feelings, your authenticity to be nice, but you can still be kind.
You can say what you really feel. Yes.
And without being nice to placate, right? Because that's all you're doing when you're being nice. So always be kind, but you don't have to be nice.
And the way we do that is by having a 1 + 1 = 3 with every relationship. That safe container where you can be authentically you, yet you don't label anything, and you're honest. And you treat people exactly the way you want to be treated. Do you want somebody to look at you and say, well, that's just stupid as, or do you want somebody to say, I don't understand that because, or I hear you, but that doesn't meet my vibrational frequency, or I don't think we're at the same level of consciousness on that, or I don't think that I'm hearing it the way you're meaning, or something. Say it in a way to draw the conversation to the point of understanding or agreeing to disagree, even, which this friend that and I that have this communication issue, we can damn sure agree to disagree. We're very we're both very transcendent thinkers, and we can agree to disagree on so many things. It's just sometimes we don't know what we're saying to each other. We agree to disagree on it.
You're speaking an alien tongue.
I'm speaking an alien tongue sometimes, or just talking to myself because I'm not heard. I mean, it's like hello, are you still there? But anyway, but yeah,
So,
that's that. We be kind because that is how you want to be treated.
yeah.
Not nice, because we define what nice is, and nice is phony. But be kind. But we need that safe container, and that's why all relationships are to be that. And we are not bad people. We are not lacking in our self-confidence or our self-worth or knowing that we are whole and complete unto ourselves, because we realize that intimate relationship, regardless of what mix it is, intimate relationship is something that most of us were designed to be here in. And so the whole challenge there is relationship 2.0 is find that intimate relationship. Now you've gotten in a relationship with yourself and with others at a 1 + 1 = 3. Find it for an intimate relationship, and don't tell yourself, no, I'm whole and complete and I don't need somebody else. It's not about needing them. It's about universal law and the fact we're wired and designed to be in those relationships.
And you sparked a thought a while ago when you said this, and I think one of our chats needs to be about how do you remain authentic and still be kind?
Let's do that next time.
When the other person is not responsive to that. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Oh, actually, it's not that tough when you apply 1 + 1 = 3, level of consciousness, no labels, all those things. Now, I'm not saying that just because it's not tough means it's going to be emotionally easy. That's a whole other topic, and we're at 101, 58, 59, 102 now. So that's going to be our next show, Pam, is what do you do when you need to have those conversations in that safe container? And if there is a safe container or not a safe container, the other person isn't hearing you, doesn't want to hear you, isn't playing marbles with you or whatever. That is a great one. So anything else you want to add about relationship 2.0 though, before we go there on the next show?
I don't think so.
No, I think, except Pam and I both know we are whole and complete in and of ourselves. And the fact that we want to be in relationships does not make us need anything. It makes us know ourselves and know what we feel, want to be, and want to experience. And that's that type of relationship. Right, Pam?
Yes. And we did not start this way, which we usually do, which is in the beginning.
There was energy. It was neither bad nor good, male nor female, in relationship, not in relationship. It was just energy.
It was just energy. How did we forget that?
And look where we've come to. All right, you all. Thank you so much. And as long as you're breathing, keep living those relationships, loving and laughing. Great big capital letters.